All right, I think we're good. Are we on? Are we golden? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight with our awesome teacher event. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. We're so thankful that you kind of took a break from maybe grading those papers or those projects. I know it was super hard for you to do. Hopefully you poured yourself a nice beverage, got your jammies on, and we are really excited to be able to share with you a little bit today about something that we're pretty passionate about, which is our business with Rodan and Field. So my name is Sarah LeBlanc, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me in just a few minutes, but just to give you a quick overview for those of you who are just joining us, this is going to be a presentation and our personal stories, fellow consultants who have all joined the business for various reasons, which you guys will hear just a snippet of tonight, who are all educators in the field of education. So we speak your language, we know your ups and your downs, and we've walked in your shoes before. And I always get really excited to be able to share with people who are in the teaching field because it is still my #1 passion in life. And you know, there's a lot of good things about being a teacher, but there's a lot of hard things as well. And knowing our economy and what's going on in the government and in the world today, our jobs have not gotten easier. And I'm sure you're not getting paid more for the extra amount of things that you are now required to do. And so, you know, with thinking about something that you could do as an extra plan B, a side gig, that was the initial draw for me and probably for a lot of others that you're going to hear on this call. But really what I hope you guys are able to take just a small piece of you, you know, back thinking about tonight is just the broad scope of the possibilities that our company can provide to you and to your family and to your belief, because that was something that I wasn't necessarily expecting. You know, you probably maybe have heard about the products, maybe you've even heard a little bit about the business, but you know, it's really truly our community and things that we have all experienced together that have, you know, blown my mind and really beyond my expectations. And equally as exciting, we're able to come to you today with some pretty awesome news that was just released earlier this week. But you guys, Rodan and Fields was just ranked the #1 skincare brand in North America and also the fastest growing skincare brand in the US since 2010. And so while that's beyond exciting and we are celebrating that, it's clearly affirming to be able to get an outside expert to validate just how powerful our combo of those amazing products plus our awesome businesses. But that's not what drives me to personally continue to work my business and to tell and share my story to people like you. It's the fact that this business truly is life-changing. And, you know, you're going to be able to hear from 8 other people who are going to tell you their stories. But truly, if you're thinking that you might be looking for something a little outside of the box, a little, you know, side business, a plan B, then I really hope that you're able to see by the time that we're done tonight just how A+ our business really is and how truly life-changing it can be. So I'm going to go ahead and share my story with you now. Like I said, my name is Sarah LeBlanc. I am a very proud Detroit, Michigan resident. I am a wife to my high school sweetheart, Sam. I am a mom to my 2 beautiful kiddos who are hopefully sleeping right now, Lucas, who is 7, and Colette, Coco, who is 5. And I am a kindergarten teacher by trade. So probably why Stacy picked me to go first. I'm going to be really animated. I'm going to talk with my hands. I'll probably clap and sing. Sorry, it's just innate. It's who I am. But I was a public school kindergarten teacher for 10 years. And like I said, teaching is in my blood. It is what my passion is. And I absolutely loved it. Seeing those 22 little faces light up when they learn something new, you just can't beat that. But unfortunately, living in the real world, recent cutbacks, harmful demands in education, my husband and I were not really able to cut it month by month. And we were truly living, you know, by pennies and paychecks and by the skin of our teeth. After working for 10 years, having a master's degree, doing everything the right way, I was making less money in my 10 years teaching with a master's degree plus tenure than I was my very first year. And something about that just doesn't add up. And after having my second child, I was on that awesome maternity leave that we all get. If you're listening in Canada, this does not apply to you. But here in the US, as a teacher, I'm sure all of you know, I got a whopping $0 for my nice little 6 weeks off. And at the time I just finished my master's degree. So really we had kind of doubled what was going out and cut in half what was coming in, which is, I'm not good at math, but that's totally not a good combination. And my husband and I found ourselves in a very dire financial position. And you know, I'm always a doer. I can't just sit on my hands when there's a problem. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to help our family. I wanted to make sure that my children had the best childhood that they could possibly have, even better than what I had. And, you know, scraping by dollars, you know, every single month really wasn't going to get us where I had envisioned our family. And so it wasn't until one fateful day of June of 2013 that I happened to check my bank account. I was just getting ready to go back to work for a couple weeks before summer came out. And I opened up my account, and I'll share this with you guys because it's my truth. But there was $14.72 left in that bad boy. Like, that was it. My savings, my checking, combined, everything, that was it. So I tend to be just slightly dramatic. And so I was crying, like, my kids are never going to Disney World. What are we going to do? You know, the really important stuff. And I kind of, you know, wiped my tears and snapped out of it and thought to myself, I need to make a change in my life. You know, after school tutoring, coaching, those things weren't going to help move my family further to where I wanted to be. And so lucky enough for me, I had a very good friend and she had started a Rodan and Fields business about a year prior. And being a very good friend that I am, I was actually a customer of hers. And I had seen amazing results with our unblemished regimen. I had some pretty bad post-baby hormonal acne, and she suggested I use our unblemished line. And I absolutely loved it. Within a matter of weeks, my skin was clear and I was that glowy girl again. And then it was sort of a slippery slope onto the eye cream and then this and then that. And so I already knew that I really enjoyed the products, but you know, honestly, it was her chirping in my ear, just saying, this could be an awesome way for you to make some supplemental income. You know, this is super easy for you to do on top of teaching full-time, having 2 young kids, you know, being very social. You can fit this in easily within your day, and I can show you how to do it and all those things. And it really wasn't until I saw that number in my bank account basically had hit rock bottom that I thought to myself, what do I have to lose? Literally nothing. I have nothing to lose. And so now this part I don't recommend that you do, but I did not tell my husband. I whipped out my emergency credit card. I called up my girlfriend and I said, today's the day. I am ready to join Rodan and Fields. Here's my credit card information. Like, I'll worry about my husband later. Let's go. So don't recommend doing that, but that's just how I operate. And he's fine. It worked out. Don't worry. But that was it. When I do something, when I jump into something, I kind of go head first. And knowing, you know, the history of the doctors, I had used Proactive in college. So I was familiar with them all the way back then. And then using Rodan and Fields at that point in time, I was really confident in the products, but I had no clue how to run a business, you guys. Kindergarten teacher, okay? 3-letter word max. Like, that's what I do. And it was honestly the community and our back office, and I felt support 100% of the journey, even now to where I am today, my feet never hit the ground, truly. We have things put in place to help guide you every step of the way. So if you're sitting here thinking, I write behavior plans for a living, I have no idea, the last thing I sold was Girl Scout cookies. I was that girl. So trust me when I say this business is as easy as using the products and as talking. And as teachers, we're able to kind of see one, do one, teach one all the time. And that's sort of the philosophy I took when I joined. And I started to find success. Slowly, a couple of friends were interested. They wanted to try the products. They started using the products. People started seeing results and asking, girl, you look amazing. What are you doing? Your skin, your lashes, you're glowing. What's going on? And referrals started coming in. And that's kind of how I built my business. And then people were interested in, now, okay, you're making some great extra money. What are you doing? How are you doing that? Let me tell you all about the business. And so things started to grow and grow and grow and kind of hit a pace that, I really don't even can think about at that time. It was so crazy to me, but I was able to step away from the classroom and hang up my teaching shoes at the age of 32, 2 years into my business. I was able to earn trips all over the place to Napa Valley, San Francisco, London, Australia. We're getting ready to go to France here in just a few months with some of my fellow colleagues on this call. I've been able to earn not just one, but two amazing Lexuses, Lexi, whatever the plural of that is, all compliments of the doctors, which has been absolutely fabulous. But for me personally, I've been able to grow an amazing team of consultants all across the United States, Canada, and now Australia. And really half of that time was spent doing a full-time job and obviously still being a mom and a wife and all those responsibilities that we have. But I would have to say, getting to meet amazing people, getting to still teach, right? That's my passion each and every single day. They're a little bit older. They know how to use the bathroom, which is like a big plus. But I still get to do the things that I love every day, and that fills me up. But I would have to say that my proudest moment, the moment that I truly could never even dream in my wildest dreams, is the day that I got to take my son Lucas to his very first day of kindergarten. And talking to, a whole group full of teachers, I'm sure you know this feeling that I signed up to be an educator, and I knew that I was never going to get to be the room mom. I was never going to get to walk my kids on the first day of school. I was never going to get to go to the field trips because I had that responsibility. His first day was obviously my first day, and I knew that going into it. But the fact that I got to hold his little hand and walk him in, I got to be that person. I got to give him that hug. I got to see him walk through those doors and become a successful student that he is today. That's something you can't put a price tag on. That's something that I would have never, ever, ever imagined possible for me or for my family. And so those moments, when I say life-changing skincare, and when you hear that phrase, I want you to think about that. That to me is my life-changing moment. And I'm just so thankful that a little dip in my savings account and a whole lot of courage that one day in June is really what pushed me forward to do something that was so out of the box, so different from what I've ever thought I could possibly do. But it's truly, truly an amazing journey, an amazing ride. And hopefully we'll see a lot of you on this journey with us. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to one of my idols and my very good friend, Elizabeth Guest, to tell you about her story.
Welcome, everybody. Sarah, you did such a good job. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your history. I love hearing that story anytime I get an opportunity to. So my name is Elizabeth Guest, and I'm so excited to be in front of you guys tonight. Educators are my passion, and educating is something that I was born to do, just like you probably feel like you were as well. So I'm not going to go into my whole story. I, like a good teacher, have a little timer handy, because if you don't have a timer and you're a teacher, you're just really not living. So I'm going to have that going to keep me on track. And I just want to share a little bit about my heart. I started this business. Sarah's story is so amazing, and it's so dramatic, as she shared. That is not the place that I came from. I was not in a position financially where I needed a change, but what really kind of spoke to me and made me pull the trigger about Rodan Fields was that I wanted to create change for other people. And so I was staying at home pregnant, also had another child, and now am an adoptive mom. So I have 3 kids altogether at this point. And I just really wanted to foster a community of giving back within my home and family. And so that was really kind of the spirit that drove me. And I thought, you know what, if I can sponsor a child in Rwanda for $39 a month, then this whole Rodan Fields gig is really going to be worth my while. And so that is why I got started with this business. And so, you know, just like Sarah shared, we all come to this from different places with different personalities, with different desires, needing different things. And whatever it is, we provide it. If it's financial gain, we have it. If it's community, we offer it. If it's time freedom, we also have that for you. So whatever you're lacking in your life, I want you to really evaluate tonight as you listen to these speakers. You know, what could this be for you? For some people, this is just a side gig. Some people, this is a full-time gig. Some people are schlepping this in the nooks and crannies on their way to and from the university to lecture, or they are doing this in their lunch hours. And whatever it looks like, the amazing thing about what we offer is that it's completely mobile, it's completely flexible, and we want you to be a part of that because, as you know, we are underpaid and undervalued as educators. So my background in education, I did graduate studies for inner city teaching, and that was what pulled my heartstrings. And so my time in the classroom was with high schoolers and middle schoolers, and I could not have loved it anymore. I miss being in the classroom, but I'm at a different stage of my life and where I need to be right now with my own kids, doing what we're doing. So Rodan Fields has really been a vehicle for all the things that we wanted to provide for our family. And I just want you to take a look at yourself because we're a really special group of people. Everybody on this call, you came because you're an educator. All the presenters are educators, and we have some really unique things about our personalities and the way that we're wired. If you're going to ever step foot in a middle school classroom, there's something a little weird about you. And, you know, some of those things are that you care about people. You work really well with others. You're a great listener. You're wired to be able to instruct and help and manipulate in positive ways the direction of somebody's future, right? That's what we do. That's what we are, you know, it stirs our heart in the classroom is not, you know, grading lectures and speeches and whatever we were doing or are doing. It's that we are there in a position of authority to lead and guide people in the right direction and to really help them. And so that translates so beautifully in this channel, in this business, because you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you are uniquely created and wired to listen to them, to help them, to train them, to teach them. And so some of the very, very top leaders in our company and some of the very, very top leaders on my team are educators. And there is a really good reason for that. And it is because we were made for this. So I hope that you take a look at this, you listen to all these leaders, all these different backgrounds. We all come from different places and taught different grades, whether it's university to kindergarten or preschool or whatever it was. And our heart is for other people. And I think that if you look at Rodan Fields' motto, which is changing skin and changing lives, the only way to do that is if you are for others. So that's a really amazing way that you can create change. I'm going to pass it off to my sweet friend, Carly. I cannot wait for you to hear from her. She's amazing. And I hope you guys, you know, just run to the phone at the end of this call and call the person who invited you and say, okay, I get it. I'm ready. I want to sign up. I want to do this thing. Because it really is a wild journey that you will not regret. It's amazing. Thank you. Bye.
Wow, that was incredible. I'm so inspired and I could not agree more with everything you lovely leaders said before me. I'm getting choked up just thinking about this gift that we have. So thank you, ladies. So my journey actually, I honestly would say began with my 4th grade teacher. She is the woman that inspired me to dream big and really have that mindset that anything I put my mind to and work hard with, I can accomplish. Being in her classroom inspired me to become a teacher. I never steered from that path. And the 15 years I had as a 6th grade middle school language arts teacher were some of the best years, most rewarding years of my life. I would not take that profession back for anything. I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to be impacted by all my students and hopefully make an impact on their lives. So my RF journey actually began a little over 3 years ago when my sweet friend reached out to me and presented the business to me. Of course, I had 1,000,001 objections. One of them was that I was too busy. One of them is that I had no business selling skincare. I'm a teacher. But in the back of my mind, I totally, as a teacher, understood the power of a side hustle, because the second I started teaching, I always had a side hustle. Right out of school, I was waitressing, and then I was coaching, and then I was tutoring. And when my one only daughter was born, 6 months into my maternity leave, which is really great that I got that with my school district, I sat there and said, I need a side hustle. I want us to be able to travel. I want us to be able to do these things, but I don't want to be at school till 5 or 6 tutoring. I don't want to be at track meets on the weekends. What can I do? And I picked up a real estate side hustle. So when my sweet friend reached out to me and said, do this business, you will love it, I said, oh my gosh. I'm teaching full-time 6th grade. I have 2 kids at home. My little son was 9 months at the time, and I'm very busy with real estate. My real estate side hustle was amazing. It was almost like another full-time career. I said, no way, Jose. But after trying the products and falling in love with the reverse line, getting compliments, the wheels started turning, because I said, I know I'm going to start recommending these products to my pals that were serial, sun canners like I was, and that were, nearing their 40s. So I said, why not? What can it hurt? If I get my skincare for free, and if I get a little extra money for date night, that would be incredible. So I did it. And here's what happens, you guys. I hustled with this. I set my alarm a little bit earlier before school when I had to get up and get my kids together. At lunch, instead of chatting with the teachers and, or walking around or doing whatever it was, finding time to fill that space and fill that space and give myself a little of a break, I worked my business. After school, I stayed at school like 15, 20 minutes later, I worked my business. In the grocery line, before I went to bed, at real estate, when I had time at open houses, I worked my business. And in 3 months, I earned 6 promotions with the company. In a year, I matched my teaching salary. And a year and a half, I matched my teaching and real estate salary. And in a year and a half, I said, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I love teaching. I've had an incredible run at this teacher thing, and it was getting really hard at the end there to stay really, really motivated and passionate, but I still loved seeing those faces every day. I said, wow, that what if is a reality. I can walk away from this. Now I don't have to hear my daughter say, why can't you be the broom mom? Now I don't have to cry when I drop off my son at daycare and he's ripping onto my leg, telling me he wants to stay with me. That was an aha moment for me, you guys, because now the freedoms that come with this are endless. I felt a little bit of guilt walking away from teaching because I always wanted to be a teacher, but now I can be in my daughter's class. Now I can be a Sunday school teacher. Now I can volunteer with Junior League and work with children in impoverished areas. There's so many ways I can give back, and I'm not done teaching. Like the ladies before us said, I get to coach women and men that want to be entrepreneurs now. I get to tell them what my 4th grade teacher said, dream big. Anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. And honestly, I get to do it with my babies on my lap. I get to do it right now. I'm in Arizona visiting one of my best friends and able to fit this in the pockets of my day. If I can do this with everything that was on my plate, Hot Mess Express, I called myself during that time. Anyone can do this. And I'm telling you, teachers are passionate. They hustle. They get that you work hard and it pays off. If you are thinking about this, talk to the person that invited you and run towards this opportunity. You will not regret it. It is I'm surrounded by so much inspiration, and I truly feel like I'm making just as big of an impact, if not bigger impact, than I did in the classroom. And guess what? I believe in learning, continuing to learn, and the personal development that comes with this is amazing. I am blown away at how much our doctors spoil us and teach us and just create us to be the best versions of ourselves. Live more and give more. That is my philosophy, and you can get that with this business. I hope that you look into this a little bit more, and I hope to see that you guys have locked arms. This is the perfect summer side business. You will love it, and thank you so much. I'm going to pass it on to Rockstar Tracy Willard. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm inspired all again too. That was beautiful. I loved hearing your story, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys to share a little bit about myself. So I'm coming to you from San Diego, which is not where I started my business. I started my business up in Bozeman, Montana. But let me tell you my background. I truly thought I would never do anything other than being an educator. I grew up with a dad who told me the secret to happiness is serving others, and that worked for me. I knew that serving others was what I was meant to do, and it was actually selfishly the thing that made me most happy. Money was never that important to me. It was just about service. And so my background in teaching was I started teaching at elementary school. I taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, landed in 6th, which I absolutely loved. I was lucky enough to teach with my mom, who was a career educator, and I loved it. And then eventually I got to my sort of dream position that I thought maybe after 30 years of teaching, 20, 30 years of teaching, I could one day teach at the university level. That would be a dream of mine. Well, it came a lot sooner than I thought. When we moved to Montana to raise our 2 little daughters, I got the opportunity to teach at the university as an adjunct instructor. I was teaching lesson planning, math methods, and I was supervising student teachers. So I loved it. Life was pretty great. I was really present with my girls and still had my foot in the world of education and service, the things that filled my soul. So there I was. What brought me to Rodan Fields truly was, even in all of that, was hopelessness. My family got hit really hard by the downturn in the economy. And we found ourselves in a real tough financial situation. We'd always done great. You know, financial worries had never been a part of our lives. And it's something that I never imagined happening to us. But when that all happened, we were trying to survive off my part-time university teaching salary. And in a matter of months, we were facing a possible foreclosure on our home. We were facing credit cards all maxed out. We were facing a refrigerator that was empty before the end of the month, and I couldn't feed my girls. And let me tell you, it's pretty scary when your train of thought or the direction you see your life is just hopeless. I didn't have a lot of hope, and the train of thought that I was starting to hop on was pretty negative. And I always knew that our thoughts are really powerful, you know, and so I had a meltdown, honestly, on the floor of my closet, and I feeling super hopeless, sleepless nights with worry and all of that. And I just said, God, I know this is where I thought I was headed, was possible divorce and, you know, not a bright future. So you can only cry so long. I wiped off my eyes and went out on a walk, and I bumped into a friend who I'd seen doing Rodan Fields on Facebook. And I just never in a million years thought that that was something that I would do. I was kind of a hippie. I didn't really wash my face, and I just, whatever, I didn't think about it. But when I heard what it was doing for her, that it was making her career money that matched her marketing career and providing freedom for her, I had always preached, you know, let's be lifelong learners, like I'm sure many of you have said, right? We're lifelong learners. And I thought, well, maybe it's time I practice what I preach and learn something new. And it was scary to think about that, because in the world of education, I was proud of what I could do and I was really confident there. And this seemed rather scary. But honestly, it was a ray of hope from the minute I bumped into her. I knew that it was an answer to prayer for me. So I felt excited and hopeful, and everything I learned about the company and the doctors and each thing I learned just filled me with gratitude that they were allowing like little old me at the lowest point in my life to partner with them and represent this brand. And so my first goal, honestly, was grocery money, because we had gotten to the point where I had just recently gone and applied for food stamps. I think that's part of the reason that I was on the floor of my closet. That felt like a little line that I never thought I would cross. And so I thought, if I can make grocery money, I will be happy, and I'll do whatever I need to do for my family right now. So I made that grocery money in my first 2 months and didn't qualify for food stamps. And then the business just grew from there. In 5 months, I doubled my university teaching salary. And within 2 years, I earned a free Lexus from Rodan Fields and this life. And as I mentioned, you know, luxury cars and money was never my goal. My goal was always the impact I could make, of how I could be of service to others, just as the others shared so beautifully. This business is about service. And it's like having the dream classroom of students who choose to be in your class, who have a personal investment in being successful there. And you basically link arms with them and you share how to do this business. And it's a journey of personal growth. And it's so incredibly rewarding. So now that we're living with time and financial freedom, what it comes down to for me, and I think many educators will feel the same, is about what is the legacy that we can leave. And we need you. We need people with our educators' hearts here. So I am so glad that you're listening right now. And I hope you will reach out to the person that invited you and join us, because we need the hearts of educators in this business to serve others. And that's really what we get to do in a greater way than I ever imagined I could. So thank you guys for letting me share my story. It was fun to be here with you. I am excited to pass it off to Susie. So take it away, Susie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Susie Serpina. I live in the suburbs outside of Chicago. I also teach out here. I've been teaching first grade for 12 years, and I actually just recently became an instructional coach this year. It's very exciting. I have a 6-year-old son and a boxer named Milton, and you might see one of them pass behind us, and I apologize, but that's what we do. That's life, right? So, so yeah, things are good right now, but 3 years ago, guys, things were not so great. I went through a financially devastating divorce. While this isn't the forum to go into that, words like garnishments and court orders and crazy stuff was happening to me, and I was freaking out. As teachers, we've got our plate full at work. We want to be 100% there. We want to be 100% at home, right? And I was 100% nowhere. I had this little guy, and I was pretty much about to have to move in with my mom, and I was 33 years old, and I wasn't up for that. That was just not an option. So I said, I'm going to figure this out. And so I did what I could. I was juggling bills. Is NICOR more important than ComEd? Is, Kohl's credit card more important than Nordstrom's? Which one should I pay? Just really scared and unhealthy. And I suddenly had this horrible anxiety. I had no oxygen mask for my son, myself, or my class. And I just went through that for about 8 months. And literally, you guys, one day I found myself digging through the console of my car for change, for gas money to get to work, to get my paycheck that was about to get eaten by those said bills. I realized I could not live this way. This was not sustainable. I was taking out my stress on my son, and I just, I wasn't being the teacher I could be or the mom I could be. And I had to find a solution. So I'm a teacher, right? I have a master's degree. I've been teaching 12 years. I can tutor, right? Totally do that. No, that's going to take time away from my son. I'm going to have to pay someone to do that. Okay, let's go back to school. That's pretty expensive. Let's not do that either. And also I had to take a lot of precious time away from my kiddo. So I sat another couple months licking my wounds, trying to figure out what in the heck I was going to do. I was like, okay, come on, summer. I don't have to pay for daycare bills. I can just get through till summer. And I know a lot of you are doing that. So I decided not to wait till summer. I watched a girlfriend on Facebook who I went to high school with hit some pretty high titles. I didn't know what that meant, but she was doing really well with the business, and she looked like she was having a blast doing it. I said, well, heck, if she can do it, I can do it. So she had been reaching out to me for 8 months. That whole time I was going through all that. And she just said, Susie, give this a shot. And I'm like, girl, I know nothing about skincare. You guys, she even sent me a little mini facial, and we have these little blue serum capsules that you put on your face. So, they looked like pills to me, and I swallowed it thinking it was a pill. So when I say I knew nothing about skincare, you guys, knew nothing about skincare. Okay. I also didn't think I could sell a drowning man a life jacket. So those were my 2 big objections, next to time, obviously. But she's like, Suze, give this a try. You have 60 days, to return everything you've purchased, and we'll get you, back to where you want to be. And I'm like, all right, forget it. Let's just do it. So I gave it the good old college try, and boom, I hit the ground running. And educators, let me tell you, I quickly realized the effort that I put into this business quickly matched the paycheck I got. Where in our profession, that's not the case. We can work hours and hours and we're still on that pay scale, right? So that fueled me, that motivated me. And I just like the woman before, like I had a goal. Like I wanted to just pay for a karate class for my son. $50. I wanted $50 extra a month, you guys. I want to be able to get to work with the gas money change, right? Well, I quickly made several times that, and in my first couple months. And here I am 3 years later, and I have also matched my teaching salary. And I'm breathing again. And while I've matched my teaching salary, while I'm able to pay for my bills, not juggle them. I have auto pay. It's pretty amazing. I'm able to go out on a Friday for cocktails after that really long week of teaching and enjoy it without worrying about spending money. While that's all fabulous, what has been amazing, like I said, is my oxygen mask is back on. I am not anxious. I can be the mother I want to be. I can, you know, I'm an instructional coach, but last year I found myself just so much freer as a teacher and just so much less anxiety. Okay. And that is priceless. So why is now a great time, you guys? It is April. We are exhausted. I don't know about your districts. If you're in a district, a lot of, or university, whatever, there's a lot of changes and shifts that happen at this time of year. Personally, in my district, a lot of teachers, their positions changed and there's a lot of uncertainty. And I know they don't like living like that, and who would? So it's a great time to jump in as a side gig, as a full-time thing. But right now is a great time because guess what? You get all summer to do this, and we can get you started and get you, boom, ready to go for the summer. So you guys, I highly encourage you to do this. My life has been forever changed. My son's life has been, you know, I just moved into this new townhome. I was afraid I was moving into my mom's house, and here we are. So thank you guys so much for listening. And I just want to say thank you to the other marvelous, amazing, incredible, inspirational women that spoke before me. If you guys didn't notice, we're all in the same boat. We were all in the same boat at one time. And this is one heck of an opportunity. So next, I'm going to introduce Jessica Fellini. Take it away, girl.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susie. And hey, everybody. I don't know if I have the comedy skills that Susie has, but I'm going to try to do my best here and tell you a little bit about me. So like I said, my name is Jessica Fellini, and I am a third-year teacher. I teach high school Spanish, but I'm also a full-time graduate student and a yoga instructor. So I'm all about the side hustle, and I'm a pretty busy person, but I'm here to tell you a little bit about Rodan and Fields tonight and how I got started with it. So I found Rodan and Fields almost 3 years ago when I was graduating from college and making the move from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Washington, D.C. for my first teaching job. So I was really excited. I had gotten that adult job. I was moving into my adult apartment and all of these super adult things that were very new and exciting. I was going to find my place in this new city. However, the adult job and the adult apartment come with adult bills, and that was not going to cut it for me with my measly first teacher income. And so what I realized is that these two things weren't matching up. So like good educators do, we find a side hustle. So I started looking all over for something that was going to supplement my income. And that's when my aunt, who I love very much, came to me and said, Jess, take a look at this Rodan and Field stuff. And it's the doctors that created Proactive, and your brother's been using it. His skin looks great. And my ears perked up because we had Proactive in my house every 30 days over and over and over again as a teenager. Me and my brothers used it every day. And so I knew who she was talking about, and I knew that they had products who worked. But regardless of that, my brother's skin looked amazing, so that I knew these products worked as well. So she showed me how I could suggest these products just like I do any mascara brand or restaurant that I love to go to my friends, but actually make some money off of it. And so I thought to myself, if I could just make a loan payment, my student loans, I had 5-figure loans. I was swimming in those loans. And so I thought if I could just make a payment each month, I'll be happy. That will make me so thrilled. And so I realized that I had something super powerful in my hands, like right off the bat, because I was able to share these products just like I share my favorite restaurant and mascara, the way that I share anything, which is social media. And like most millennials, I am very, very connected with my social networks and on Facebook and Instagram, hours and hours a day, where I should be grading my papers maybe, but I catch myself on there constantly. And so I used that time to maximize my business essentially. So when I started to see the kind of money that I was making from this little side gig versus the money that I was making from a real salary, that I was putting in long hours and volunteering to do all sorts of clubs just to make a couple $100 for a stipend, and putting my heart and soul into lessons and activities that kids and a lot of people really just saw as an elective, and they were just trying to get through my class, and what for? So that really made me appreciate my side hustle a lot more, because I was seeing the difference in the paychecks and the amount of work that I was doing for each one of them. And while my teaching job pays for my bills and my adult things that I have to live a roof over my head and pay for the cable and all of that kind of stuff, my Rodan and Fields business really pays for my future. And while I'm not married yet, I do hope for that one day. And I've been dating my boyfriend for a long time, and we get to dream about those things. And I hope that with this business, it'll allow me to not worry about money and not fight with him about money, because those are things that I saw constantly in my childhood, and that my parents really didn't have the luxury of having that disposable income and having the income to do the things that they wanted to do. And so really the best part of this is that I have all of these choices at such a young age. Before Rodan and Fields, I figured I would be working until retirement, 20 years, 25, I don't even know how many. I knew that the countdown wasn't ready for me, because retirement is a long way away. And I just figured I'm going to be working till retirement, and hopefully maybe collect a pension if it's there for us millennials when we get there. But now I know that if I want to, I can maybe travel a little bit more, or maybe volunteer a little bit more, or maybe stay home with my babies one day, and all of these things that I really didn't have the luxury of dreaming of with my teacher salary alone. So the financial freedom and the time to choose has really meant everything to me. So with that, that's just a little about me, and I'm gonna pass it on to Becky Cox, who looks ready to go. So Becky, take it away.
Hi there. Wow, what inspiring stories we've had. Goodness, I am the matriarch, I guess, of this call tonight. I taught school for longer than most of these girls have been alive. I'm a 35-year veteran school teacher. I taught first grade for a long time and third grade, but I was teaching first grade 9.5 years ago. And I was teaching at a fabulous private Christian school here in Atlanta. Had a great job. Never thought about doing anything different. I was happy where I was, but I was also wanting a little bit more, because I had 3 precious triplet grandkids who were 5 years old at the time, and I wanted to spend time with them. And something happened that made me a little sad, not a little sad, but a lot sad. But I missed their first grandparents' day at their school because I was teaching, and that broke my heart. And I remember sitting at a table and writing on a piece of paper, I will never miss another grandparents' day, ever. And I knew that there just had to be a way somewhere, but I wasn't thinking about another business. I was just thinking, I got to plan my days off so that I can have my personal days to do that. Well, I came home from school in February of 2009, and a stranger to my husband and I had called and shared a business with us. She was the mother of our daughter's best friend in college, and she had heard that my husband was a super businessman, which he was, and we'd always had a great life, but I was still teaching school, and she shared Rodan and Fields with him, and he knew it would be a great opportunity. But he told her, he said, I'm a little busy tying up some businesses and doing some things, so I'm going to see if Becky would like to do this. Well, when he passed it off to me, I wanted to kill him because I didn't have time. I was getting up at 4:30 every morning. I was getting to school by 6:30 every morning. Get it? Are you relating to me? And I was staying there till 5:30 every day. First grade school teachers don't just work 8 to 5 or 8 to 3, and none of you teachers do, but we cut and paste all night as well. So when he said, I told Jackie Qualls that I would let you just look at this, that you might be interested, I looked at him in disbelief and said, are you kidding me? What hours do you think I'm going to have to work another business? But I said, I've got to be nice to her because I don't want to hurt her feelings. So I'm just going to look at the website and tell her why I don't want to do her business. So I clicked onto her website, and I saw Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields. And I thought, this might be something to look at. This might be something that could be something. These doctors are going to give me the opportunity to partner with them. They're going to give me the opportunity to be a part of their company. That was hard for me to really wrap my head around. So I talked to my husband about it, and he had done some networking in the past and had been very successful in every company that he had been in. But the problem was the companies would come and they would go. And so my taste for direct sales companies was not real good. We had a conventional business that we owned, so it wasn't our only livelihood. So I could afford to, dabble in that. But when I saw Katie and Kathy, I just thought, this is something that's going to be big. I had that gut feeling. So I just did a little research, not much, but I talked to him, and he said, Becky, if you really work this for 3 to 5 years, you could really not even believe what your life would be like, our life would be like. And I said, okay, let me sleep on it. So I slept on it. And the next day I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I said, I'm so afraid that in 5 or 6 years, it will be on the Today Show and I will have missed out. And everybody will be talking about what a great gig it is and what a great opportunity. And so I jumped in. We called Jackie and I started. Now, fast forward 5, 6 years from that point, and we were on the Today Show. We were featured on the Today Show, and it was the first year of my retirement. And I remember sitting on the sofa crying because I had listened and I had followed that nudge and I had dreamed big and captured that. So I was so excited. But anyway, I worked my business for 5.5 years in very part-time hours. That's all I had. People say, nooks and crannies, and that's exactly what it was for me. I could only do it in the nooks and crannies of my life. I could only do it in the time that I had in the car, on the way to school, not necessarily on the way to school because I was the only person in the world up besides other teachers, but on the way home from school. We were very involved in church, very involved in our grandkids' lives. And so I had to just do it when I could. My husband had Bible study every Monday night. And so I used that time as my dedicated time that I was going to be working this business. So in 5.5 years, I got my W-2 from school, and that was, before tax time. And I had 35 years of a teaching career with a master's degree. I was at the top of our pay scale at my private Christian school, and they paid us very well. But like someone said before, I had no more steps to go. And I also got my 1099 from Rodan and Fields. My husband looked at both of them. He said, why in the world are you still teaching? Do you see what this is? and it was amazing. I had far surpassed my 35-year teaching career. So I said to him, well, I won't be teaching next year. So I retired. I loved teaching. I loved it with my whole heart. I loved those babies. And my husband was very scared when he found out I was going to retire. He said, I can't possibly draw all those pictures and write all those notes like those babies do to you every day. And I said, well, you can do good enough. So anyway, I have been retired for 5 years. My husband and I live our life on our own terms. We have financial freedom. It has been more than I can ever even imagine. And it's because I washed my face and I shared these wonderful products with everyone I knew. I wanted to tell people, I wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to change their skin. It's not just about changing people's lives financially, but it's about helping people. When you can have a child that has a face full of acne and you can help them go to their prom and have a clean, clear face, that is so rewarding as well. So we have a life that is so fabulous. My triplet grandkids are now 14, almost 15, but I was able to be the Mimi that they needed me to be. I could pick them up at school when they were in the earlier grades. I could go be with them at school, and it was wonderful, and I loved it. That fear of missing out is what got me, and that's something that I'm forever grateful that I took a hold of and ran with. Think about where you are. Think about your life now and what you want your life to be in 5 years. Think about, in 5 years, where am I going to be and what am I going to do? I never thought 9.5 years ago that I would be where I am right now. This is an amazing company with an amazing, amazing opportunity for all of us. We are so blessed. Just think about where you want to be and what you want to be doing, how you want your life to look. And I would love for you to talk to the person who invited you on this call. This is an amazing opportunity. And I'm thrilled to death to be 66 years old and have this opportunity. But you people, most of you I bet on this call aren't as old as I am, to be your age and to have this, that you can build this legacy for your family is amazing. So take a look and be serious. I'm going to turn it over now to Tiffany Knight, and I enjoyed being with all of you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tiffany Knight, and I'm thrilled to be here with you tonight. Hopefully, everybody's seeing me right now. I just want to thank you for an opportunity to be on here, and I'm going to have a little bit of a different story to share with you all. My day started this morning at 6:30, and it started getting a sub for a teacher that was out today, and then it moved on to carpool, and then had a booster-thon pep rally to attend today. After that, I had several meetings. In between, of course, I got a couple of hugs from kids. And then also I had to have an encouraging word, as many of you know what that means, with a student throughout the day. And then we had program practice because our 4-year-olds have a practice for all of their parents on Friday. So to say the least, it's been a very, very busy day at school. So yes, that's my story. I still work at a school, and I love every single minute of it. I love the profession of teaching, and actually I've taught for 20 years, and now I'm an administrator in a school and get the privilege of doing that every single day. So the gift of that is that I've also had a Rodan and Fields business for 6 years, and being able to do both has been such a joy, because as we know as teachers too, there's sometimes that we want to talk to adults and not just kiddos on a daily basis. Now, with that being said, I really do feel comfortable talking to people under 10 far more than I do being on a presentation like this or talking to grown-ups. Everybody's nodding and saying, yes, you completely understand that as well. But back to a little bit of my story. I live in Little Rock, and I have 2 sons. I'm married to my husband, Mark. And 6 years ago, I was brought the opportunity to join the doctors with Rodan and Fields. And honestly, the only reason that I did it was because I was near 40 and I washed my face with soap. And so I knew that as I was aging and getting a little bit older, that it was important for me to have good skincare. And since it was with the doctors of Proactive, although I'd never used Proactive, but I knew about it, knew the reputation of it, I knew that this skincare was going to be fabulous as well. So I'm one of the rare people that it took less than 24 hours to say, well, yeah, sign me up. And so I immediately signed up, jumped in, got my kit, started using the products. Let me back up a little bit and say that I'm also that person that will say to you, I am not a salesperson. Let me repeat that. I am not a salesperson. I talk to people under 10. I'm not a salesperson, but I've learned that I love to share about Rodan and Fields. So got my kit, started using the products, and immediately realized that it was making a difference in my skin. One little funny story to go along with this is that my neighbor at the time said, I want to hear about your products. And so I went over and shared the products with her, sitting at her kitchen table, and she looked at me and said, I want to join you in business. And I said, no, you don't. And she's not a salesperson. And she looked at me and said, yes, I do. Your skin used to look horrible. Oh, it did? And she said, yes. What are you using? And I said, the reverse. Okay, I'm joining you in business. Well, she joined in less than 24 hours as well, and has an absolutely incredible business and a very large team. So with that being said, I just kept sharing the business, sharing about the products, and realized that what I was able to do was provide a gift for other people. And as teachers, what we want to do is we want to give to others. We're constantly giving to our students. We're constantly giving to our parents. And so what I found that I'm able to do through Rodan and Fields is give to others either a business opportunity, which is spectacular, or give them great skin. And a lot of people, you're able to give them both of those things. So what better than that? So through the opportunity, I've given that to many, many people, been able to grow a team, still continue teaching in my school or working in my school. At first I realized, okay, my kids were young at the time when I started, so I made myself devote 10 hours a week. And I would actually chart my hours out just to make sure that I had in my 10 hours, whether it was a training call online, whether it was sending emails at night, making phone calls at night. I dedicated 10 hours minimum to my business. And then as the time progressed, I realized, okay, I can adjust this time here and there throughout my business to make sure that I get it in. And this was at night after I put my kids to bed. Now that my kids are a little bit older, I'm able to do it a little bit earlier in the evening, but I still dedicate the hours of my business to either before school or after school. So, and tonight, of course, we had a doubleheader ball game for my son, in which I had to run out of the ball game and come home and get an opportunity to do this. But mentioning my boys, that's one of the main reasons that I continued with the business when I realized, okay, we could have a little bit of mad money just to play with our kids. And so my husband and I had decided that we want to be able to make memories. That's one of the most important things in life, I feel like, is being able to make memories with our kids. So one of the special things that we started doing was going to a family camp every summer. We go to Pine Cove Family Camp, and it's a little bit pricey to be able to go to camp, but we never thought twice about being able to do that because we had our Rodan and Fields money. And from that time, we've been able to do that. We've been able to grow business more, but then we're also able to give away. And I think that's where the pure joy comes, is when you realize, okay, I've been given a gift of a business, and now I'm able to give the gift of a business, a gift of skincare, and also a financial gift to people. So whether it's foster care or whether it's someone that's in need that you see that has an immediate need, whether it's your church, whatever it is, being able to give is so meaningful. So here I am, a school teacher, never thought I would have all of the extra income as a teacher, but being able to give is so rewarding. So with that being said, one of my favorite authors is J.K. Rowling, and my son, my 6th grade son, absolutely loves Harry Potter. And so I found a quote from her that I thought was really important for all of us. And it says, anything is possible. Anything is possible if you have enough nerve. Well, me, the non-salesperson, The person that likes to talk to people under 10 only has enough nerve to have a huge Rodan and Fields business and also work alongside at school like I continue loving to do. So if you have any interest in doing this, just go for it. Don't sit around and think about it. Take that less than 24 hours to just jump on, because I guarantee you, you're going to have no regret. There's little risk, but a lot of reward. So just jump right in and enjoy every single minute of it. It is such a blessing. I am going to now introduce Jamie Swanson to you guys, and I hope you enjoy her story as much as I've enjoyed hearing everybody's story prior to this. Have a great evening.
Hi, everyone. I am super excited to be here with you guys tonight. My name is Jamie Swanson. I am currently a 5th grade teacher, and I have been teaching for 15 years. I'm also a very busy mom of 3 kids, ages 6, 4, and 1. My husband also has a business of his own in landscaping. So as you can tell, I am super busy, and you're probably wondering why I would take on another business. So before I was introduced to R+F, my life was lacking a lot of direction. I was struggling with a sense of purpose. I was struggling with being a working mom. I had to do a lot of sacrifice, and it was really, really hard for me to have that balance of working and being there for my kids. And I felt a lot of guilt all the time. And we were just getting bogged down with all these bills, and we were going through a lot of financial stress. And I knew that I had to do something to supplement my teaching income. And a few years ago, 2.5 years ago to be exact, a friend of mine from high school introduced the business to me. I knew the doctors, a Proactive, and so I jumped in, you guys, before I even tried the product, because I knew this was going to be a legacy brand, and it has literally changed the trajectory of my future. I know this because when I started teaching, I thought that I was going to do that for 35 years. That was it. That was my vision. I was going to teach for 35 years. I was going to retire and get my pension. And although I love teaching, it is definitely my passion, and I love being there for those kids. I felt like I was meant to do more. There was a little bit of a burning desire of me going out of my comfort zone and having a more positive impact on other men and women. And so this kind of fell into my lap. And like I said, it has not only really relieved us of the financial stress that we were going through, it has made me a better person. It has made me a better mom, a better teacher. I always thought teachers are always great leaders, and leaders are always great teachers. And this business has really changed my life, because now I am helping other people and mentoring them to be the best version of themselves. I'm helping them create a plan B. I'm helping them be more confident. And the personal development that goes with this is probably the biggest life changer, even more than the financial flexibility. Is I've never felt this confident ever before. I love having that positive impact on other people. I have grown a global business. I have partners in Australia. I have partners all over the US. And it is just an amazing, amazing opportunity. So I really want you guys to think about this. And if your wheels are turning and if you've been listening to all these amazing stories and something just clicks with you and you can relate to it, I just want you to think about what your life is going to be like in 5 years. For me, it would be overstressed. It would be overworked. It would be missing out a lot on my kids. And my priority is my family. And I just know that this business is going to replace my teaching income where I can step away from teaching and just have more options. The fact that I have options in the future is amazing. I never thought that I could ever have that. So I hope that you really enjoyed listening to all these stories. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'm going to give it back to Sarah LeBlanc to close out the presentation. Have a great night, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie, so much. And thank you to all of our incredible speakers. It is certainly not easy coming live to so many of you, but they did an awesome job. And hopefully, like Jamie said, you've been able to maybe hold on to one or two things that a few of us have said to you. Summer is coming up in just a few weeks. And, you know, maybe you have some time freeing up in your schedule where this could be something that, you know, you have a chance and opportunity to try. Clearly from all of our stories, I don't think you'll be disappointed, but if you have any questions, if you, need to circle back with the person who invited you, and they'll be able to help guide you to the next step, whether you're ready to sign on the dotted line right now and join us on this amazing ride, or maybe you need a few more questions to be answered, they'll be able to help you out. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and we're going to have our red peds ready for you to come join us. And we just want to say thank you again for joining us this evening. And I hope everyone has an awesome rest of their week. And we will hopefully see you later. Bye, everyone.